Hello everyone, welcome back to LaExcellence Bengaluru presents current issue of the day episode number 170. Today we will be discussing a very important topic, that is denotified nomadic and semi-nomadic tribes. We will see why it is in news and what are these denotified, semi-nomadic and nomadic tribes and what are the issues related to them and some committees related to these tribes, and also how do you address these issues. So since this is in news for the last 2-3 months, there can easily be a question in your current mains. So have a discussion about this one. Write down the important points which I will tell in the video. So in GS2, the syllabus, it comes under GS2 governance and laws, institutions and bodies, and also it can come in GS1 marginalized sections. Okay. Next, the context is at a recent event in New Delhi, representatives of DNTs reiterated the demand for a permanent national commission to address their long-standing socio-economic and legal marginalization. So, for these denotified tribes, nomadic tribes and semi-nomadic tribes, there was no commission particularly dealing with these tribes. So now there is a demand. Actually, there has been a demand from long time to address these issues. So they want a different commission similar to NCSC, NCST to deal with NCDNT, but that demand hasn't been met. So we will see what the news is about. First we will understand what are these denotified tribes, what are the nomadic and semi-nomadic. Denotified tribes are the tribes which were earlier notified as criminal tribes under the British rule, and the rule was Criminal Tribes Act of 1871, which was repealed in 1949. When the law was repealed by the government after independence, they were denotified from the criminal tag list. As a result, they are called as denotified tribes. Okay. So nomadic tribes are the tribes, as the name suggests, tribes that move from one place to another place for the livelihood. Animal herders, entertainers, healers, blacksmiths, these are some of the examples of nomadic tribes. And then is semi-nomadic tribes. They are tribes with a hybrid lifestyle. For a part of season they travel, and for a part of season they stay at a particular area. Seasonal migration but maintain a fixed base. So these are some tribes. One of the important tribes you have to remember is denotified tribes and the law, the Criminal Tribes Act law. Next, so the population and the distribution is approximately 10% of the Indian population, so which can amount to almost 14 crore now, and there are 150 plus denotified, 500 plus nomadic tribes. They are majorly found in Maharashtra, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Karnataka, UP, Bihar, Andhra Pradesh, Uttarakhand. Okay, and some of the examples are for denotified tribes, they are Bedia, Parthi, Bhantu, Kanjar, Nat, Sansi, Loda, Maler, etc. And for notified tribes, sorry, not notified tribes, for nomadic tribes, it is Banjara, Rabari, Gadia Lohar, Kalbelia, Madhari. Okay, this Madhari are very important from the conservation perspective as well. These Madharis are present in Gir National Park, and they played a very important role in revival of Asiatic lions in Gir National Park. So this is how you connect subjects from different GS1 to GS4, GS3. Next is in semi-nomadic tribes is Adi, Apatani. So students of anthropology might have nightmares about Apatani tribes because it was asked for 10 markers in the last year's paper 2. Okay, and then Nishi, Dafla, Galo. So these are mostly in the northeastern India. These Nishi, Dafla, Galo, Miri, Mishmi, these are all the names of tribes as well as mountain ranges present in northeastern India. Okay, so these, the Bedia, Parhadi, Bhantu, Kanjar and Nat, etc., these were considered as the tribes which were involved in consistent crimes. Okay, these were considered as repeated offenders under the British rule. British considered them as the repeated offenders, or the communities or the tribes which are found most in repeated crimes. As a result, they were considered as Criminal Tribes Act. They were considered as the criminal tribes under the Criminal Tribes Act of 1871. when they were considered as a Criminal Tribes Act. Not only the tribes but also each and every individual under the tribe were put under the supervision or surveillance, supervision of police or surveillance of police. As a result, they were subjected to discrimination, they were subjected to exploitation. Now we will understand the issues that are plaguing them. Before that, we will understand the key historical milestones with respect to these communities. First is in 1947, Criminal Tribes Enquiry Committee was set up and it criticized the communal criminal branding. And later in 1949, there was Iyengar Committee which led to the repeal of Criminal Tribes Act 1871. Next is Kaka Kalelkar Committee. It recognized DNTs as vulnerable sections of the society. In 1980, Mandal Commission recommended nomadic tribes in OBC category. Next is 2002 Constitutional Review Commission urged special provisions or protections for denotified, nomadic and semi-nomadic tribes. And in the very recent years is the Renke Commission of 2008 identified 500 plus communities and implementation was poor. They gave certain recommendations but the implementation has been very poor. And the final one, the most recent one, was Idate Commission, which was constituted in 2017 and 18 and identified 1200 plus groups and demanded a permanent commission. So the recommendation is there from the 2017 onwards, but it hasn't been implemented yet. And the recent committee meeting in the New Delhi is also emphasizing on this permanent commission on the basis of National Commission of Scheduled Tribes, National Commission of Scheduled Caste and National Commission on Backward Classes. So they want a new commission, a permanent commission for National Commission for nomadic, semi-nomadic and denotified tribes. So that is the demand and that is the recommendation of Idate Commission as well. Next is the data which you can use in your answers. So the data according to Renke Commission was that 98% of DNTs don't own land or house because they are denotified and most of them are nomadic and semi-nomadic in nature. And Idate Commission said that 1200 plus communities are there and recommended exclusive classification next to SC, ST and permanent commission and also subcategorization of DNTs under the OBC list. The case study which you can use in your answers, especially for anthropology students, is about Pardis in Maharashtra. They were branded as criminal tribe during the British era and post 2015 they faced mass police harassment in Pune and Nagpur after theft cases. Over 50 families were pushed into the slums. So just the fact that they were considered as a criminal tribes raises suspicion over a particular communities. So this is what happened in the recent Pune case. There were theft in Pune and the police suspicion directly went to the communities of belonging to Pardis. And instead of proper supervision or proper inquiry into this, they were subjected into discrimination and later they were pushed into slums as well. And NGO-led education drives helped children to join formal schoolings. And other case study is about Kalbelia in Rajasthan. They were once snake charmers and dancers, now are displaced by Wildlife Protection Act. No land ownership and forced into informal labor or begging. And recently the UNESCO has recognized the Kalbelia dance as UNESCO intangible heritage site in UNESCO intangible heritage. However, it has not translated into policy help. Okay, so though they are very important culturally, they are facing issues with respect to displacement majorly because of conservation efforts under Wildlife Protection Act. So these are some of the issues and some of the case studies which you can use in your answers. Now we will discuss the issues in a broader way. What are the issues that are being plagued by these communities? One is with respect to social stigma and criminalization. The very legacy of them being considered as the criminal tribes under the CTA Act of 1987 subjects them as a born criminals. Also, it continues as an informal police profiling. Though they have been removed under the Act, they are still considered as the criminal tribes by police in the profiling. And police atrocities, that is arrest without warrant and harassment, is still prevalent even after repealing of the Act in 1947. Post forward to 75 years, the case remains the same. Second is the lack of legal identity. Many denotified tribes still lack Aadhaar, ration cards and residential proof. and as a result they are not given access to education, healthcare and social welfare schemes. Okay. Next is no exclusive constitutional safeguards for these communities. They are neither included in scheduled tribes nor included in scheduled caste or in OBCs. So no scheduled tribe or caste status for many, and benefits from SC, ST, OBC quota depends on the state classification. So it is not uniform throughout India. Next is the livelihood insecurity. Their traditional occupations such as street magic and healing are now seen as non-modern and also considered a very taboo subject and also very ridiculed in the society. And urbanization has displaced the traditional markets, so they are now caught in the fire. That way they cannot practice the old profession and they cannot get the new job because they lack education, they lack skills. Next is poor implementation of welfare recommendations. Renke and Idate Commission largely are unimplemented. The recommendations of Idate and Renke commissions are largely unimplemented, and budget allocation for DNT welfare schemes remain marginal. Okay, there is budget allocation, but it is very marginal and it is not enough to address the issue of healthcare, education and social welfare schemes. So if these are the issues and challenges, how do you address these issues? So the way forward should also include or address the issues individually. So one is establishing permanent commission for denotified, nomadic and semi-nomadic tribes as recommended by Idate Commission, powers on par with SC, ST, OBC commissions, and focused database creation and monitoring so that the policy can be data oriented. Okay, data oriented policies. Next is exclusive classification of DNTs. Many communities are excluded from SC, ST, OBC list. So we should provide sub quotas within the OBC, ST or SCs for DNTs, and also update socio-economic caste census to include them in these communities or these lists. Next is provide legal recognition and documentation for them. There should be a drive which should be carried out throughout India, through which they should provide universal Aadhaar card, voter ID, ration cards, and also allow mobile documentation camps with NGO and district coordination so that they are not excluded from these social welfare schemes. Next is cultural and economic preservation, very important aspect of denotified tribes. Recognize traditional skills under Skill India PM Vishwakarma Yojana. Set up artisan clusters with support for traditional professions such as magicians, such as dancers and such as various other skills. Police sensitization and legal reform is also needed. That is, train law enforcement to end stigma, set up vigilance mechanisms to prevent custodial abuse, and finally education and residential rates. Here hostels for nomadic children and low cost housing schemes and for the landless tribes under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. So all the issues of these tribes should be addressed individually. With that we can address the issues of these tribes and also let them avail the schemes which are available under the government. Okay. So as a welfare state that India is, it should take care of all the marginal communities. So this is the topic which I want to discuss today. I have explained in a very crisp way with all the necessary data and case studies which should be very essential for your answer writing. So if you like the video, then please hit the like button, comment on it and also share with your friends. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, click on the bell icon and also share with your friends. With this, I will end the video. Jai Hind.